Hello students, today I am here with a very beautiful and short poem, Alexander the Great, composed by Wilbur D. Nesbit. So first of all, I would like to tell you about the poet. Wilbur D. Nesbit was a poet and humorist who lived in US towards the end of 19th century. He was a journalist and editor as well as a prolific writer of humorous poems. His most well-known poem is Your Flag and My Flag. So, children, this is all about the poet. Now, let us move on to the poem. Alexander the Great was a victim of fate, and he sighed there was naught to delight him. When he brandished his sword and defiantly rode, he could not get a country to fight him. Means Alexander was such a great warrior, such a brave warrior that nobody could fight with him when he moved, when he waved his sword and searching somebody to fight with him, he could not get anybody. And that was the reason that he sighed and there was nothing to delight him. And he was a victim of fate because he had to remain dissatisfied, unhappy because of his fate. All the armies he had chased, all the lands led to waste, and he clamored for further diversions. And our history speaks of his grip on the Greeks and his hammerlock hold on the Persians. All the armies he had chased, all the lands he had waste, means he had chased all the armies, he had led all the lands also to waste, and he clamored for further diversions, means he expressed a strong demand for further diversion, but nobody was there to fight with him. And we could know about his grip on Greeks and his hold on Persians by history. Through history, we could know about his grip on Greeks and his hold on Persians. Though the Gordian knot cut in two in a spot in his palace was labeled a relic. Though Bucephalus stuffed gave him fame, he was huffed, he was grouchy, and grumpy was Alec. Means his people made all the armies locked bent behind their back, and all his victories, his brave work were labeled as historical importance in his palace. And Bucephalus, who was a horse of Alexander, was very stuffed, healthy, and he gave all name and fame to his master. Also became exhausted sometimes, and he was very grouchy and grumpy, means irritated. Sometimes he also became very irritated and behaved like a stupid. And the cause of his woe he would have you to know, means sometimes he becomes very irritated, very exhausted, and make people know about the cause of his grief. And even Alexander was also very irritated and sometimes very dissatisfied, and the cause of his dissatisfaction was that time nobody was there to bring all his victories to the public and conduct a big scrap that is adaptable. Nobody was there, no correspondent was there who can send messages by the cablegram. That means nobody was there to send the message to the public as Alexander was expected. Instead of being quite glad, he would grow very sad. When he told of the fellows who had fought him, as he thought of the lack of clicking Kodak in the hands of a man to snapshot him. That means nobody was there to snapshot him, nobody was there who can send the messages to the public, and that was the reason that instead of being quite glad, means he was very glad, very happy, but he was growing sad at the same time. That was the reason that nobody was there who can bring all those things, who could bring all his victories to the public. We are told that he wept in the dolefulness crept through his palace. The reason is hinted. There were not at that time magazines for a dime, and his articles could not be printed. As I told you that there was nobody to click pictures, nobody was there to send messages through cable. So in the same time, that was another reason that he was very dissatisfied that no articles of Alexander had been printed in the magazine at that time. That was the reason he was very unhappy. So people found him sometimes weeping. He was found wept also in his palace because of this reason. But, and in real, we can say that even if we know that he was not known to many people, his victories were not being printed in the magazines, but it would be very unkind if we do not outline his victories. And in truth, we have heard that he went back on his word and was not Alexander the Great fool. This is all about the poem. Now on to the summary. So, in this poem, the poet depicted Alexander's character and his victory in a very beautiful manner. He says that Alexander was a victim of fate. He was a great warrior, brave and powerful, but he had sighed. You know why? Because when he waved his sword around showing resistance with a violent roar, he could not get any country who would be ready to fight him. He had chased all the armies and led all the lands to west. After that, he expressed a strong demand for further diversions. We can have his grip on the Greeks in our history, and his people had locked the arms bent up behind their back on the Persians. Means we can know about his victories and his grip on Greeks as well as on Persian through history. History helps us to know all this. He could sort out any problem within seconds. His palace was known as an object of historical interest. His horse, named Bucephalus, who was strong enough, fought for his master and got exhausted and gave him fame and name. But after having all this, Alexander was not happy. According to the poet, sometimes he got irritated and behaved like stupid. Why? Because he did not get any recognition. Although he was such a brave warrior that nobody could defeat him, he was unable to send a message to the public about his victory. The reason behind this is he felt the lacking of any technical hand to click his photograph or snapshot him. So, the poet says that he was found weeping in sadness and crept through his palace because his victory was not known to public. The poet also says that in his time, not even his articles could get printed because of the lack of magazines. Still, the poet says that if we do not outline his victory, it would be unkind to him. So, we must say in some ways that he was hateful, or in reality, we can consider him as not Alexander the Great. He was a man who was never satisfied. Ironically, the poet says that he was not Alexander the Grateful because he never kept up his words. There are some rhyming words in this poem, and these are delight, fight, speaks, Greeks, stuffed, huffed, able, cable, glad, sad, hinted, printed, hateful, grateful. And I think rhyming words you all must be knowing. What are rhyming words? The words which are having the same sound. There are two poetic devices which are used in this poem, and the poetic devices are being used in the poem for giving it a beauty and extra or special meaning. So, the poetic devices which are used in this poem are rhyme and irony. So, rhyme is a repetition of syllables at the end of the words, often at the end of a line of poetry. So, you must have seen in this poem there are so many rhyming words which which gives us a rhyme, and rhyme is a repetition of syllables at the end of the words. Next poetic device is irony. What is irony? Irony is a situation where events or views do not match with the actual words spoken. So, why this poem is ironical? Because the title is Alexander the Great, and the last line of the poem is telling us that Alexander was not grateful. So, this is again an ironical thing, ironical point which we are getting in this poem, and there are two poetic devices, rhyme and irony in this. Now come on to the moral. What moral we are getting from this poem? The moral which we are getting from this poem is when people do something great, they seek acknowledgement. As we see in this poem that Alexander was a great warrior, a brave warrior, very powerful king, but he did not get acknowledgement. He did not get his name and fame in public as he was expected, which made him unhappy. This is the end of this beautiful poem. I think this is clear to you all.